Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman, and I come on to do the Facepalm Challenge by Labarum 312. I believe that's how you say it. I see a religion-free deist video on the topic, and I decided to jump in here because I like topics like this, and I facepalm myself almost every day to where sometimes I get headaches, especially when I walk into the bookstore. So the topic I'm going to be talking about is Bible translations and study Bibles. You have to climb over them to get to the good books in any bookstore. So you got study Bibles taking up tons of spaces, and then you got Christian religious fiction, Christian evangelical religious fiction. So you have to climb over all that stuff to get to the archaeology books that are way up in the corner on the top shelf, But what's really interesting is that probably the one that I facepalmed was the, well, actually three study Bibles that came out. It was the NIV Archaeology Study Bible, which was a huge facepalm, and the Apologetics Bible, which is the Holman, I believe it's the Holman Christian Standard Version with apologist contributions and notes of evangelical apologists. And the other one was the Chronological Bible. You popped it open. It wasn't at all chronological. So what I really found interesting today is from the evangelical section. There's hardly no hardcore scholars, like James Pitchard, who ended up writing the ancient Near Eastern text relating to the Old Testament, where these people actually sat down and translated and went out into the field and did archaeology. You don't find that in evangelicalism today. Catholics in the Catholics institution, like Michael Coogan, who translates Canaanite texts and writes the Oxford Annotated Bible, I believe it is, and writes on ancient Near Eastern topics. These people are hard to come by in the evangelical circles, and it devalues the literature that comes out in these study Bibles. However, on the other side, if you bought all those Bibles, you'd have a clear view of how evangelicals view apologetics. If you bought the Apologetics Study Bible, you would have a clear view on how modern evangelicals view archaeology. And if you bought the NIV Archaeology Bible. So, they do touch on topics, but it's all through the viewpoint of evangelical Christianity. So, big loss. That was probably the biggest scandal of the evangelical mind was biblical inerrancy. It totally wiped the field of any serious research on the evangelical side. However, there's still some people out there, great people. I believe it was Richard Elliott Freedman, or Noel Freedman, one of the two, started the Anchor Bible Commentary, and did multi-denominational studies of people who were actually in the field, who could read the languages of ancient Near Eastern literature, and were specialists in those fields to write commentaries on biblical literature. One of the best that I've found on biblical literature. Gives cultural background, gives comparison to the ancient Near Eastern texts, the setting, and a lot of the debates that were happening in and around that. So, facepalm, the study Bibles from the evangelical side, pretty much junk. So, it's even a lot of fun if you did your research and then somebody tries to use some of that basic information on you. I think that the only person that I would take overly serious, not overly serious, serious is Ravi Zacharias. He did a lot of research, especially in world religion and philosophy, and he's a Christian philosopher, and he chooses to be, and he makes references to philosophy and to other belief systems while he's espousing his evangelical beliefs. But I've come to believe that the definition, and I got this from Bart Ehrman's debate with William Lane Craig, where Bart Ehrman said, an apologist is nothing more than an evangelist disguised as a historian. So that's the extent. On the other side, because there's rules to this challenge, is the Skeptics Annotated Bible, where they totally don't care about culture. They don't care about the interchanging religious ideas and theology. That whole website, it could be a strong, positive website linked to answering a lot of the skeptics' questions as far as secular research in the field. Like if some of these would compare ancient Near Eastern texts, have links, but they're not interested in doing that. It's just already written off, and you go there for a quick chuckle. That also is a scandal of the skeptic's mind, because it's just a plain laziness to write it all off and not look into it at all. So those are the two sides, and the two funniest biblical study Bibles on both sides, from the skeptic and from the evangelicals, that I facepalm every time I walk by or go to the website. But some of the stuff is for entertainment, and some of the stuff is, people take very seriously, and some people don't at all. But that's the challenge. So take care, friends, and remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.